Well, they say everything's bigger in Texas, and generally that's true. In fact, the Dallas Card Show has been one of the biggest shows in the country ever since COVID, really. In fact, I was having a conversation this weekend about what made this card show so big so fast. And thinking back, it was COVID. I remember going to this card show back in 2017, 2018. It was at a small Marriott hotel, and there were maybe 25, 30 tables. And it was still a pretty good show, but it remained that way for a year, year and a half. And then, COVID came along and the whole country shut down and Texas stayed open. And this was the only show going. This past weekend, it was so packed that it was obnoxious. It was too big. It was too much. If you go there on a Thursday or a Friday and you're able to move around, not a lot of public is there. It's mostly dealers. It's in the evening. I'm sure it's just a phenomenal opportunity to buy and sell and trade. But if you've got a job and you've got a life outside of cards and you're not able to get to the show until Saturday, you're just, at this point, I just felt like, a sardine in a can, to be honest. I won't say it was a waste of time, and I won't say I won't go back, because I will. But Saturdays are getting to the point where the show is harder and harder to do deals in. Matter of fact, I prefer going to the side rooms on Saturday because at least you can move around. Problem with the side rooms, there's not as many good cards. Now it's getting to the point where Sundays, even though there are several dealers that choose not to set up, Sundays are where it's at for, John Q. Public, because Sundays you're able to move around, and Sundays you're able to walk up to tables and conversate with dealers and actually get stuff done. I picked up 3 cards. I'll get to those here in a second. 2 smaller, one bigger, and the bigger one I found on Sunday. I would have never seen it Saturday just because I was navigating with so many people. I took my 12-year-old nephew with me to the show. We stayed on site, got a room well in advance before they sold out. And it was part of my Christmas gift. I also gave him this Jake Ottinger, really, really sick card that's from the Upper Deck, the Cup. He's really into the Stars. He's really into hockey. So I splurged on him, which was fun. I remember being 12, and that's the age when I feel like cards were the funnest for me. So it was a fun thing to do for him. This trip for him felt like a sort of rite of passage, in that I think his collection took a step forward. I helped him clear out a lot of bulk, a lot of small, meaningless stuff that he's collected that didn't really have a ton of value. He said the main goal of the show was he wanted a real Mickey Mantle card, right? One from his playing days, not one from, 2019 Select or, a reprint. He wanted a real Mickey Mantle card, and we were able to do that. Here he is with his 1964 Topps Mickey Mantle in a PSA 1 with great eye appeal, might I add. This was kind of a bittersweet thing because that card was stickered for $200. He wanted to grade the Ottinger that I bought him, so we did that. We took that into BGS Sunday morning and got that started. But he was kind of running low on funds, and so we took some time, went through his whole box, and pulled out probably 90% of his cards. I mean, he was left with about 10 really solid cards. And then we went and liquidated everything else and got $200, which is what the Mantle cost. I thought he did great, all the stuff that he sold is replaceable. And I mean, there were a lot of dollar cards in there. There was an Ohtani rookie from Donruss, I think, in a PSA 10. That was the main driver of the deal. Took it to Card Sharks. Man, Card Sharks I can't say thank you enough. You're always willing to take bulk. You're always willing to be fair. And once again, you were fair here. So we took that $200, and as soon as we walked away from Card Sharks, got about 10 steps away, and he started breaking down and crying, and I felt awful. I thought, what have I done? You know, here I am leading him through this deal, and what I think is sort of a no-brainer for him, getting rid of all this modern stuff that he won't even remember. I mean, he would open up his box, and he had stuff that was just in penny sleeves, just spilling out. And so to take all of that bulk and turn it into $200 to be able to go and buy his Mickey Mantle card that he wanted, I mean, it felt like such a clean and precise move to me. But in all of that, I kind of forgot, you know, that little guys like that, they get attached to their cards. And I asked him, you know, what's wrong, man? He said, that was all my cards. That was my whole collection. I said, no, it wasn't. I said, you got a good, you know, 8, 9, 10 cards left that are really meaningful, that are valuable, and you know, they're serious cards. I guess it's a way to explain it. It's not a bunch of fluff. We just dumped the fluff. And he said, yeah, but it took me a year to collect all those. And for a second, I thought, well, shoot. Should we turn around and go back and ask for everything back? But then I just thought, no, let's go get this Mantle. He's going to feel better. I got to get him over here, get him to this table. And so we walked over to the table, and the $200 Mantle was talked down from $200 to $150. So we grabbed that. You know, I told the story on my 53 Mantle about how my grandfather, and we're from Joplin, Missouri, and Mickey Mantle played in Joplin in 1950, and my grandfather played against Mickey Mantle. And my 53 Topps has a mention of Joplin on the back, and so does the 64. Matter of fact, it has the entire stat line. Mantle hit 26 bombs when he played for Joplin, and my nephew was like, hey, my grandpa gave up one of those home runs. So, you know, after it had time to sink in, he was smiling from ear to ear. He also was able to buy a OPC Mike Modano rookie from 1991 and a BGS 9.5, and still had some money left over from that $200. So he did great. He survived his first Dallas card show. Went with my friend Steve and his son, and my son Keaton and his friends, and everybody kind of did their own thing. But you know, Steve's a Twins fan, and so we were thrilled when we saw this Rusty Kuntz. Was that how you pronounce that name? In a showcase, and I was going to buy it for Steve, and I asked him, hey, how much is this? He said $5. So I reached in my wallet, got $5 out, purchased the card, and I turned it over, and he had a $2 sticker on it. So I said, hey, wait, this is $2. And he said, oh, my bad. And so he gave me the $5 back, and I was looking for $2, and my wallet didn't have it. And Steve's like, I got $2. So in the end, Steve bought his own card, a gift from me. But I didn't realize that old Rusty Kuntz played for the Twins. I knew he was a Tiger because I can remember going through 1984 and 85 Topps and running across old Rusty's cards. And I always thought that last name was, well, just kind of funny. Let me get into kind of some things I saw. So I saw this exquisite Kevin Garnett patch right here, patch auto. Caught my eye, you know, with all the exquisite love lately with Kobe's and with, you know, Jordan and everybody else. I thought, well, here's a KG who I did admire watching. He was a great player. Maybe I could get into this. And it ended up being about a $700, $800 card, and I liked it, looked at it. I thought about picking it up. At the end, I was just like, this is just a card that's going to sit in my collection and really not have any meaning. On trade night, there was a couple guys, Asian guys, with broken English. They were set up in the hallway with their cards on the floor. One of those cards was this immaculate Allen Iverson patch auto. Out of 10, beautiful card, pretty nice patch, all things considered. You know, Immaculate is no slouch when it comes to game used patch autos, but there's just nothing like a Flawless. I asked him how much for this, and he wanted to be at 9. I think the last sale was on one similar out of 10 was around 8, maybe 775. But the problem here was that he had this card and a few other Flawless, but this card's sitting right next to it. And I asked him how much on this, and he said, "Oh no, I'm not selling it. Not for sale, not for sale." Which, you know, I guess. I mean, you're going to lay out all your cards, and you're going to have people come and ask, and you know, maybe the Flawless draws over the guy that ends up buying the Immaculate, kind of like, you know, it did me. But I did not end up purchasing that Immaculate. I was too enamored with this Flawless. It's gorgeous. So on Saturday, I did get 2 deals done, both in the side room, both small. This first one is a 96 Bowman's Best. Sorry, it's sticking. Bowman's Best Atomic Refractor die cut Emmett Smith. Believe it or not, this was only $60, and it's gorgeous. And this is just the kind of card I've been picking up lately. So, admittedly, I did not know much about the Pinnacle Epics Moments. I'll go ahead and sleeve this up as well. This card is really nice. I left these in the one touches because I didn't want to manhandle them while I was at the show. But truth be told, that's not the way I would want to keep them, because, you know, they can get some surface issues. And this looks pretty clean, but we're going to put it in a more friendly display. So we'll put it in the penny, and then we'll stick it in the card saver, and then I'll go on and put a Superior sleeve. I'll show you right here. Then the next thing I do is I throw one of these guys on there, and it ends up looking like this. And so when you put it in one of these Superior Fit, it protects the card saver from getting all scratched up, and it also makes it a little easier when you put it in your storage box to slide through as you're going through the cards. So anyway, so that was Saturday. So I woke up early Sunday to get down to the floor before it got real busy. I turned in that Ottinger Cup card to BGS and started walking the floor. I was really looking for a Jason Williams card. He's been on the PC mind lately, because I've been watching his podcast that he's got on Barstool with Patrick Beverly, and it's great. Now I've already started a PC of Jason Williams, but you know, I just been listening to him, and he's been on the mind lately. So, you know, I was kind of looking for a J Will card. Didn't find one, but I was also kind of still wishing I had managed to pry that Flawless AI out of that guy's hand on trade night. Again, he was not selling, but I did. In the back corner of the room, I spotted this guy. 2016-17 Flawless, game used, patch, beautiful auto. Let me take it out of this thing. So this card here, if you look at Allen Iverson autos on Flawless cards, you'll see very few of them are clean. And this one is just perfect. Not a smudge to be seen. Still sealed. Gorgeous 3-color patch. You just never, ever see these cards come up. You never see vertical, flawless, game-used Allen Iverson patches come up for sale. This was the get right here. The 2016-17 Allen Iverson game-used, ruby out of 15, color matched with the red of the Sixers. Was thrilled to find this. They never come up. Go look at some of the comps. Last one that sold, last 2016 card that was sold, vertical, was sold in November of 23. This was a no-brainer. Found this, made a play for it, added it to the PC. Couldn't be any happier. I still got cards at PSA that I sent back in September, and they're still not here. Waiting on a big COMC order as well. I'll have another video when I get either one of those back, my reholder or my COMC stuff. But in the meantime, here's the pickups from Dallas. It was fun. It was big. Maybe it was too big. But it was Dallas. And we'll see you on the next one, guys. Thanks so much for hanging out. Talk to you soon. Later.